let's look at my Spotify Wrapped. It's on the screen right now. Okay, so top artist was, wait, should I maybe like change the name of the stream? Hold on. Can I even do that? Can I change it while we're streaming? Okay, let me not touch it. I don't want to mess with it and then I fuck around and find out. Speaking of fuck around, let me not talk about that actually. Okay, this is my Spotify Wrapped. So top artist, Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny's been my top artist. Except for 2022. I don't think he was my top artist in 2022. But every other year, he was my top artist. I think 2017 that was the first year he was my top artist. Which makes sense because I believe I discovered Bad Bunny end of 2016. So 2017 I was just obsessed with him and I've been obsessed with him every year. And the only reason he wasn't first 2022 is because that was the year I discovered TXT. So all I did was stream TXT because I had just found out who they were and I was just like so excited about their music and stuff. And 2022, did Bad Bunny drop an album that year? Oh, he did drop Un Verano Sin Ti, I remember. But you know what? Actually, I felt like that album came out at a bad time for me. Even though it's an amazing album and I can listen to it now and I love it, I feel like the timing of that album was not the best timing for me. So I think that's why I didn't listen to it that much. I think I was going through a lot when that album dropped. I was transitioning from, being a college student to being a full-time employee. And it was really rough and really lonely and it was really hard for me, and also I went through a lot with like the friendships I had that year. So it was just a really rough year for me and I just felt like I didn't fully get to enjoy Un Verano Sin Ti era as much as other people did. I know people love that album, people love that era and people like want it back. But for me, it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't like amazing. And also, I remember I couldn't even go to the Un Verano Sin Ti tour because, so the 2 days that he had it in New York, I think it was like Saturday and Sunday, I literally had a concert that I had promised my parents to take them to. It was literally like Saturday night, like Saturday at like midnight. So I could have went to his Sunday show, but I would have really, really, really had to rally for it. And I just did not want to do that. Also, like, it was, yeah, I don't know. Also, I didn't have anyone to go with, so I would have just went alone, which was, like, kind of, I don't know. I can go to concerts alone, but I think I just, like, I was, like, again, like I was saying, I was going through a lot with my friends and, like, my like, work life and stuff like that, so yeah, that's the only reason why he was not number one that year. Every other year since then, he's been number one. And then TXT is number two. I kind of wish that they would have fit their name somehow, but whatever. G Idol was number three. This year is the year I got into G Idol. I got into it because of Yuchi's solo music, actually, which is kind of funny. But I fell in love with the group and I listened to like a lot of their music. I ended up going to their concert in September and I was listening to like a lot of their music to prep for the concert, so that's probably why they're at number three. I don't think they'll probably ever be in my top five again. I mean, I love G Idol, but it was really just like a kind of, I discovered them this year and I was prepping for their concert. That's why they're number three. Number four, Lexi Liu. I feel like she's been on my top five before. I love her so much. She's one of my favorite artists. I so desperately want nothing more than to see her live. I'm hoping she is on tour in China right now. She has said that she's gonna add more cities. Hopefully she brings it to the US. I would love to see her. I'd do anything to see her. Honestly, I'd even fly to I would love to just go to China just to see her. Like, I love her so much. Yeah, Lexi's been on my top five before. I don't remember which year though. Maybe like 2020 or 2021, because she had dropped I think Meta Ego one of those years, and that was like my favorite album for like for so long. That album went platinum in my household. And then the reason she's on here this year is because, okay, so she released Happy Star. She released it in 2023, but I actually didn't get to listen to it until the end of 2023. And then I was low key like obsessed for like the first 6 months of this year. I'm still low key obsessed. I love her songs so much. I think she doesn't have that many listeners. If anyone is watching this, if there's anything you take away from this stream, it's to go listen to Lexi Liu. And if you need songs, what song would I recommend? I would recommend the Happy Star album. Fortuna is good. Magician is good. RRR is good. That whole album is good. I really like that album. But I will say that album is a little bit it's a little artsy. Like, I don't know. There's some songs at first listen I was like, what is this? But then I like, I kind of, the more I listened to it, the more I was like, oh wow, this is actually very like clever, very intelligent, very thoughtful, very creative. So yeah, but I love Lexi so much. I'm actually a little surprised that she's on here, because I didn't realize I listened to her that much this year. I feel like I listened to her a lot more back then, but I love to see her here. Okay, and then number 5 is Shakira. So I feel like this year was such a big year for Shakira. So obviously, like with her Bizarrap song, that one was on repeat for so long, and hearing that song, I've always been a fan of Shakira, but I think hearing that song and her kind of being a lot, like her kind of putting herself more into like the spotlight, or I don't know, I felt like I don't know, maybe I didn't pay attention that much, but I felt like there was a period of time that Shakira just didn't do, like, she didn't, do so many interviews. She didn't, like, I don't know, like I feel like she didn't do like crazy promo and stuff, and I felt like, she really was focusing on being a mother and being like kind of like a wife, even though she wasn't a wife. I felt like she was trying to like, spend more time with, I think she was focusing on her family. And then I think after she left Piqué, like, I just feel like she really threw herself into her work. And after that Bizarrap song came out, I loved the song, and it kind of was like, oh, like, I remember really loving Shakira growing up. Like, let me go back and listen to those old songs. And I did. I listened to not the really old stuff, but I listened to like El Dorado. I listened to her self-titled. I listened to, oh my god, I'm like blanking on album names right now. But I listened to those. I love those two. And then she dropped, and she also, what's it called? She dropped her new album, Mujeres Ya No Lloran? Las Mujeres No Lloran? Algo así. I'm forgetting the exact name of the album, but it's like Women Don't Cry Anymore. Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran? I think it's Las Mujeres Ya No Lloran. I really liked that album a lot. I feel like people didn't like that album, but I liked it. I mean, I think hardcore Shakira fans didn't like that album, which I can see why. I could see why people that liked her really early stuff, why they don't love her newer stuff as much. But as someone that, is, I didn't really, grow up with her earlier stuff. I really liked it for what it was. I thought it was really fun music that I could play. So yeah, and then again I was listening to her older songs, and I love, and I think it's not on my top 5, but I think if I go to like my top 100 songs, I'll probably see like a few Shakira songs on there. Oh, Laundry Service. I love Laundry Service. That album's a little older. I think that's like a 2003 album. I love that album. Okay. So yeah, I think that's why she's number 5. It's just kind of, I kind of just re fell in love with her. I re fell in love with her because her lyrics are so beautiful. Her voice is amazing. I feel like that is like, I think that's why, like, for me, even though her newer music might be a little bit more different than her older music, I feel like her vocals will never disappoint. They're so good, so strong, such a beautiful voice. Um, yeah. So yeah, so I kind of like refell in love with Shakira this year, which I'm very happy about. Okay, now let's talk about the top 5 songs. Um, so, so Gum by Yeonjun. That, yeah, like that song is good. Like I don't know what to tell y'all. Honestly though, I feel like if the I don't know when the tracking for Spotify Wrapped ends. I don't think Spotify's ever officially announced when they stopped tracking data for Spotify Wrapped, but if tracking, I don't, but TXT just had a comeback November November 4th. Um I feel like tracking, if tracking went on a little bit longer, I feel like some songs from that album would have been up here cuz I've been streaming the fuck out of their latest comeback. But yeah, but Gum, love Gum. Mantra, I'm really surprised this is on here too cuz that's also a newer release. But I guess I really did listen to it a lot. I love that song. This that pretty girl mantra. She's that. I don't know the dance, but I love Jenny. And I love that song. I thought that song was so cute, and I was really, um, I was actually very um happy to see this kind of song from her because I felt like her previous solo songs um I felt like, I don't know, like it just felt very different, which I feel like all of Jenny's like songs have been different, but I feel like solo is very different. You and Me are very different. And then she released Slow Motion, which was like kind of a sad ballady song. And then she did Spot. And so I felt like Mantra was just very different, which I'm really happy. I didn't want Jenny to fall into like a releasing the same type of music all the time, or like only, or not being very diverse with her types of songs and like messages. So I'm very happy with Mantra. And then I know she confirmed that next year she'll be dropping her solo album, and I'm so excited. I will be supporting. um yeah, and oh my gosh, she's gonna be playing Coachella. So because she's playing Coachella, I'm guessing that the album is going to drop like before Coachella. And I believe Rose is dropping her album December, and I believe Lisa's dropping her album in February. I think, actually, I think I can check when Lisa's dropping her album. La Lisa, love me, la Lisa, love me. Sorry, sorry, y'all. Oh, okay. It's at the end of February, which is kind of a cute date, February 28th. Um, I would love to see Jenny's album drop February as well, like early February. But I feel like she's gonna kind of let Lisa get her moment. But I don't know. It might be January, y'all. I don't know when it's dropping. I know it's dropping soon. I just don't know when. Y'all, Jenny, drop the date. Drop the date. And drop the album pre orders too while we at it, because I need an album. um, Actually, let me check Jenny's Instagram. Let me stop playing with myself. I'm so scared that one day she's just gonna drop the album pre-orders and it's gonna sell out, and I'm gonna miss it because I'm a dummy. And I really hope she does signed versions. I really want a Jenny signed album. Okay. Um. Okay, number 3, My Bag. This is the Giotto song. This is my favorite Giotto song. Actually, is it my favorite Giotto song? I think it is. I like this one. I also really like. I think this might be my favorite Giotto song. I don't know. It's kind of hard to pick, but I think it. I mean, it must be. It's like It's the only Giotto song that made my top. Um, but yeah, I love this song. It's so good. I don't know. There's nothing much to say about it. I just think it's so fun. It's so catchy. Um, Yeah. Okay, number four, The Killer, I Belong to You. This is TXT. This is from their April comeback. Uh, the no Miniso 3 tomorrow. Um, I I'm surprised this is on here. This is not my favorite song from the album. My favorite song from the album mm, is it Deja Vu? I think it is Deja Vu, the title track. I think it's my favorite. So I'm surprised Deja Vu's not on here. But I guess I really liked The Killer. I guess I must have liked The Killer more. You know what? I think after seeing it live, I was like, wow, I really like this song. Let me re-listen to it 50 more times. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why The Killer got an extra bump, but I'm not sure. I was like really surprised to see The Killer on here. um but Deja Vu, I think Deja Vu is still my favorite, even though I played the fuck out of The Killer. Okay, number five, That Okay remix. Y'all, I'm in my Brazilian funk era. This song started it all for me. So, That Okay remix, y'all. If y'all have not heard this song, get into it. Brazilian funk is having its moment, and y'all need to be a part of it. So this song came out last year, long time ago. It's Denise, Maluma, and Carol G. There might be one more person. I can't remember. But it's so good. It's so catchy. Carol fucking eats. Her part eats. Like, I'd be listening to a song waiting just for Carol's part. But I mean, I love everybody's part, but something about Carol's part is just so satisfying to hear. So yeah. So I love this song. It's so good. Like, if I'm getting ready, I play this song. If I'm brushing my teeth, I play this song. If I need to focus, I'm playing this song. If I'm cleaning, I'm playing this song. Like, this song was always being played. Always being played. And then because of this song, I started kind of getting into Brazilian funk just a little bit, just a little bit. I started listening to Anitta a little bit more, and I was like, you know what, like, yeah, like this is kind of cool. And she dropped an album, and I think I gave it an initial listen, and I didn't really have that many thoughts after the initial listen. And she actually went on tour, and I really regret not going to her tour. Hopefully she'll tour again. But yeah, so I remember she dropped Funk Generation, and I don't know, I feel like I didn't appreciate it when it first came out. And then recently, The Weekend dropped a song with Anitta, Sao Paulo. That's a Brazilian funk song, y'all. That song ate, and I just remembered, like, you know what, like, Anitta is so talented. Let me give Funk Generation one more listen, because I'm in my Brazilian funk era right now. You know, like, I'm feeling it. Girl, I re-listened to that album, and I was like, why did I not replay this earlier? Like, why did I not give it a second chance? It was so much better the second time around, and I love every song on Funk Generation. It is so good. That I feel like if you are not into the genre, or maybe if you don't fully understand like Portuguese, which I don't fully understand Portuguese, but because I understand Spanish, I can understand a little bit of an well, okay, Funk Generation, she speaks English, Spanish, and Portuguese, so I understand most of what she's saying. I can see why, maybe, like, because the whole album is this just one genre, I can see why somebody that that is not into, that doesn't really understand two out of the three languages, and is not super familiar with the genre, I could see why they think that this album sounds monotonous, or like every song sounds the same, or like it's like, oh, it's like, I don't know when one song starts, I don't know when one song stops. But I think if you really really pay attention, and if you understand the languages, and you know what she's saying, and you love the genre, I think you'll see that every song is actually really different, even though they're all the same genre, which is kind of crazy, because I feel like nowadays people get praised for albums because it's like, oh, like, it's so versatile, like they have multiple genres, they're mixing genres, they're doing this, they're doing that, like, but for me, this was so amazing, because like, it's literally all just funk, but all the songs are good, and all the songs are fun, and I just love it so much. So yeah. All that to say, I love Anita, and I love that she's getting her flowers. I know a lot of people really loved Sao Paulo, and people like are like, wow, like, should I give Anita a chance? Yes, bitch, you should. You really should. I love Anita. And also, I love that Anita is. Oh, also, Anita had Bellaqueo this year. I really feel like this year was her year. Well, I think it came out last year in December, but let's be real, it was being played this year because when songs come out in December, it leaks into January, so it was being played this year. It was definitely being played on my phone all year, but um, yeah, I felt like Anita had a really big year, and last year she did a song with TXT. I fucking ate that song up. I love that song so much. So Anita has been my latest obsession. I'm actually very excited for Coachella. Not because I'm going. I was asked to go, but I told. So okay, I went to Coachella 2 years ago. The group that I went with, they want to go. Well, one of them wants to go again. The other person does not want to go. I was like, I'm down to go, but we all have to go. It's not just gonna be a pair going. That's not fun. So yeah, it doesn't look like we're going. But if we don't go, I will host a live stream party with me and my friends, and we will watch Coachella because I definitely want to see Anita. I want to see Jenny. I want to see Lisa. I want to see XG. XG, we certified. Who else do I want to see? I want to see Megan. I can't remember the other ones. I want to see Gaga. Of course, I want to see Gaga. I'm so sorry, y'all, but I the reason I was like kind of like 50-50 about Coachella is like I felt like the headliners were just not to my tastes. I don't know, I just felt like the headliners were just not to my taste. I think though with Coachella, I think they're kind of in a weird they're kind of in a weird like I don't know how to explain it. I think 2022 had amazing turnout because they had Bad Bunny, Frank Ocean, and Blackpink. All three of them have a very strong young fan base. Like I think basically almost all their fans are like Gen Z or millennials. So they had like I think their turnout was amazing that year. And so I think that they were like, oh, like the following year, like let's also get artists with that are the same, that have the same like type of fan base. So they had like Lana, Tyler, and Doja. They all I feel like majority of their fan base is also really young. Um, but I believe last year there was a lot of like I think people had a lot of bad feelings because of how of Frank Ocean. Like people were just like, oh, like headliners can just drop out like that. I think they announced the lineup way too late. And I think you know and I think that like even though those three like yeah they have a younger fan base, I feel like their fan bases are not as well, I guess like maybe Lana's is dedicated, but I remember Doja was going through like a crazy hate train because people thought like she hated her fans. So I remember Doja was like people were like were not really like like I felt like people were not really riding for Doja and were not really gonna show up to Coachella for her at that point. Like she had gone through a crazy hate train. And then Tyler, I know Tyler has a lot of fans, but I know that he has Camp Flogna, which is also in SoCal, Southern California. And so a lot of his fans were like, well, why would I go all the way to Coachella, pay crazy amounts of money to be in a desert when I know that Camp Flogna is going to happen and I know Tyler's going to perform there. That's his festival. And it'll be more to his fans' taste. Like, because the artists that Tyler brings out, like, he has an overlapping fan base with those artists as opposed to Coachella who has a bunch of artists and they're trying to get everyone's fan bases, so I just feel like Tyler fans were just like not feeling Coachella because they're like, oh, we can see him at Camp Flog now. And I think he was also set to play Lala last year. I think he ended up dropping out last minute, but I remember he was set to play Lala. So I remember like people were like, oh, like there's like 3 potential festivals that we could see this man at. Like, why would we go to Coachella? Like, and also like the Coachella, like it's literally in a desert. Like you really have to like love these artists if you're gonna see them. or I don't know. Well, I know some people live for Coachella regardless of the lineup. Like I know people go every year regardless of the lineup, but I think that's only a small chunk of Coachella goers. I'm sure it's like 50% are like loyal Coachella goers and 50% like you're relying on people's fan bases to buy the tickets and go and like experience Coachella for the first time, or like, you know, they're not like normal Coachella goers. Okay. That's how I feel about um the Coachella lineup. But I will be doing a streaming party because I think that the I don't know. I think I like a lot of people on the undercard. I love Gaga, so I will be sad. And also, there's rumors that Gaga's going on tour, so I'm like, I'm really hoping that she just goes on tour, so I can just see her on tour. I don't gotta go all the way to a desert to see her. Okay. Um,